Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We're getting ready to do a trip away to Fraser Island, and Graham was just going through his vehicle and going through some of his setup there, and I thought it might be a good thing to show you guys how Graham set up his bags and his drawers and stuff like that. So let's head down and we'll have a chat with Gaz and see how he's going.
Oh, hey man, how you going?
Good, how you going?
What are we doing?
Hey, I was just thinking, seeing as you got a mint setup, would you mind showing us through how you've laid it all out and what you've got
100%.
where? And
All right. So some of the tools and spares and stuff that I take zippy ties. If you can't fix it with zippy ties, there's something going wrong. So I always take zippy ties. They're handy as you can do so many things with them.
you got some licorice in there.
No, so in here I've got, so these are just a few, like I've got an older car obviously, the Land Cruiser is a bit older, so I do take a few bits and pieces. So I take like brake fluid, auto trans fluid, just in case, and also take a bit of coolant concentrate. So just basic fluids that I need pretty much to get you out of trouble. Like if you know your car well, you should be right depending on where you are, but I always just like take them just to get me out of trouble. If it's Fraser Island we're going to, you know, if I run out I can get it off the island hopefully.
It's pretty remote. It's not like you can just pop down to Repco and grab some bits.
No, so I'll try and keep a few things like that. A couple of radiator hoses.
We actually had a incident a few months ago in my car heading down to Coffs Harbour,
right,
and one of the top hoses, one of the heater hoses popped, and
we did a little bypass trick and got past that. But yeah, things like that, if you've got an older vehicle, it is handy to have. And then they're just tyre plugs, so I've got a tyre kit in there just for doing repairs and stuff, so if you ever get a hole. So basic spares that, you know, if you're going further, mate, you'd probably carry more stuff than that, but that's just basic stuff that I carry. Obviously in here I've got a lot of electrical stuff, so got heaps of terminals. Along with my zippy ties, I've got 100-mile-an-hour tape, because that fixes a lot of stuff too.
So if you can't fix it with zippy ties
Bit of 100
or
mile,
tape, then you're
then you stuffed. Little multimeter, just if I've got to diagnose any electrical problems. You never know when you could need that, and just like little electrical bits, terminals, wires, test light, anything that's going to help me on an older car get out of trouble. There's a little tool roll, so I just keep some basic tools, just same again, like just enough to get out of trouble. So it's well used, this one, and there's a few bits missing. I have to go and find them before we go away. But look, just basic spanners there. I try and keep, you know, a few screwdrivers in there. Small socket set. I don't go to town on stuff, but just enough. Little hammer, knife, little bits and pieces. There's a few Allen keys in there and stuff like that. Just enough. Once again, I don't want to carry too much, but just enough that I know I'm going to be covered if I need to get out of trouble.
Everyone's favourite bit when camping, the kitchen. So what have we got in here?
Right, so basic sort of stuff. This is still a mess. I haven't actually set it up, but basically I try and keep some basic kitchen stuff. I keep them in clear top bags. It's just makes things a bit organised. You can see what's in there. You can grab them and pull them out and stick them on the table if you need to, so you've got everything in there. You can basically see what I've got in there: cups, bowls, plates, little chopping board. So in the back one there I've just got some basic coffee pods. They're always important.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit of a mess at the moment. A little pod machine there for making coffee out on the road, and I've got my little jet boil there. That's actually a Kmart brand, which is a little bit cheaper than Jetboil, and it hasn't let me down yet. It's going strong, so they're a handy little thing to have. It's just instant boil there. They have these little gas bottles, so they're pretty cool to use. So try and keep, you know, that's usually a little bit tidier than that, but all my coffee stuff and that in there, so that's pretty handy. And then in the back there I've got a few pots. You can see there's just a couple of pots and stuff.
So do you prefer to have kitchen gear on one side and then stuff on the other side?
Yeah, so I try and keep all my kitchen stuff on one side.
Yeah.
So then in the kitchen roll, when you roll that out, so in there I've got more cutlery. So this would normally just hang up like that under my awning. So just around the side, once we set the awning up, I hang that in there. So in there you'll see, like, I've got all my, you know, spices for cooking, a bit of salt and pepper, I usually keep tongs and knives and stuff in there, and then I've just got basic cutlery and stuff down there.
Just make sure that you put the lids back on properly.
Yeah,
with your garlic salt, especially if someone else
there was an incident.
borrows it. Makes a bit of a mess.
So yeah, that's a quite handy little thing to have. You can just roll that up and keep everything nice and tidy out of the way. And yeah, I just try and keep that in there, just nice and neat. So all right, so in the other side, I try and keep. Normally I have sort of 2 clear bags. Like I have 2 of these set up, and I try and keep all my dry food in that side.
Yeah.
So we normally just have the 2 bags in there with our dry food in there, and then obviously we've got the fridge there with all the cold stuff up there out of the way. So that obviously slides out as well, and you can get into your fridge. So yeah, I'm not going to go into like what sort of food to pack and things like that, but obviously you need somewhere to keep stuff cold. So if you don't have a fridge, even just an esky with ice, it works perfectly. Otherwise a fridge, and then your dry food, whatever you need, depending on how far you're going. Like obviously in Fraser, you don't want to be buying too much food over there because it is expensive. So it is important to sort of pack, depending on where you're going, pack with that in mind. Where you're going, is it remote? Like, are we going to be able to access food? Are you going for a month at a time and you've got places you can stop and restock food and things like that? So,
all right, well, let's talk recovery gear.
Rightio.
So we got a bare minimum amount of recovery gear everyone should have in their full drive if you're heading off the beaten track.
Rightio. Basic recovery gear. So obviously I don't run a winch, so we don't do anything too extreme, and we're usually in a group, so we can get out of trouble, but I don't worry too much about a winch at this stage. So I carry jumper leads because they're always handy, and you never know when you're going to need them, especially with an auto. You can't push start an auto.
You can try, but it doesn't work.
You can try. I've got a like a winch extension strap there, which obviously I don't have a winch, but you never know when you just need to tow someone, because you don't want to tow with a snap strap, so I use that if I was going to tow.
Yep.
Can come in handy for other things too, but I hang on to that there. Got a snap strap there, obviously for pulling out of bogs and things like that. That's handy, and a couple of D-shackles.
Yeah.
Probably.
What's this little fella here?
So that's obviously
seen those around a bit.
Yeah. So that's a recovery point. So obviously, if you're pulling from the back of your car, you don't want to be pulling off your tow bar, because that's very
So you don't just hook your shackle over the...
No, so that's very dangerous. That is a that can break and turn into a projectile. So you do need to get like a recovery point like this, which is rated, and that'll go into your receiver, and you can put the pin in, and then you can tow safely from that. Tyre deflator there, so good quality tyre deflator to let your tyres down. If you're going on the beach, if you're going on a rough off-road track or a muddy track or a hill,
let your tyres
down so that your car's got a bigger footprint. Just makes it so much easier.
And more comfortable too.
100%. And then the other thing I've got there is just a tyre puncture repair kit there. Rightio, one of the other things that we always carry is a set of recovery boards. So I've got 4. Even 2 will get you out of trouble, and I don't know how many times these things have got us out of trouble. On the sand, in the mud, on the dirt, they're so handy. Doesn't really matter what brand you grab, but just grab some, because they'll get you out of trouble, especially if you're not going in a big group. If you're going by yourself, these will get you out of trouble. Now the other thing you're going to need, once you've let your tyres down, when you're finished on the beach or on the track, you're going to want to pump your tyres back up. So I carry a pump, that's just one from King's, but dual head, so it goes pretty good. It can pump up the tyres pretty quick, because obviously you don't want to be driving down the highway at low tyre pressure, because that's very dangerous. So, and you don't know where the next servo is, so if you're self-reliant, you can do it yourself. Nice long hose there that'll go all the way around the car and reach all your tyres, and probably your mates' cars too, because they haven't brought a pump. But bring one of them.
Very nice. So what about health and safety wise? Like, what sort of stuff do you carry in your car for that?
Yeah, 100%. So I've got, just if you grab that there, I've just got a basic first aid kit. It is important to carry something like that. You just never know what's going to happen when you're out in those remote areas. And you can even get, which I don't have, is like a snake kit. If you have a snake bite. So they're important too, especially when you've got kids. So and don't forget, when you use something out of these, to replace it and stock it back up again, because the next time you go to use it, you won't have it in there.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I do carry is a fire extinguisher.
Yes.
So it's just mounted there on the back of the cargo barrier, because you never know what could happen, and you want to be prepared and have a fire extinguisher there to put any fires out.
Well, there you go. Thanks for that, Gaz. You know, very handy, very good tips. Anyone that's new to having a four-wheel drive setup, are new to rear drawers, some really good pointers in there.
Yeah.
Some really good things that you want to take with you. So you've got your fire extinguisher and your first aid kit, important to have these days. Your recovery gear. Nothing worse than trying to help someone out of a bog or a sand and they don't have it.
Don't have their own
Don't even
stuff,
have their own
yeah.
snatch strap, and they're still on
Strap
45 pounds in their tyres. So what you take is really going to depend on where you're headed. Obviously, if you're heading up the beach, it's going to be slightly different to if you're heading out the bush.
Yeah.
You know, we obviously didn't cover things like food and water and stuff like
And
that.
where you sleep, what sort of sleeping arrangements you have
Where-
and things, but
where
that's
you're
going
gonna
to be
sit.
that's going to be different for
Yeah.
everyone.
So yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to like and subscribe and share. Really helpful for us as a
100%.
channel. And remember,
The weeks are long,
the weekends are short.
so chase the weekend.
Catch ya.
We got 3. We're getting professional.
Now that you've unloaded your car, Gaz, we're going to finish the video and you can put it all back. So you have it. There's some easy camp meals. I'm just thinking about the last video.
Any brand, they'll kit anything like.
So it really will. I was looking between both cameras.